So the OCG ban list dropped yesterday, and some decks got a nerf, some decks got a boost, so I figured out why not make a top 10 best decks video. But of course, do keep in mind that they have Maxi and we don't, so some cards that are maybe a little broken are justified to a certain extent by its existence. Anyways, let's get right into it. As soon as, of course, you smash the like and subscribe button. Alright, so in the number 10 position, I have Tenyi Sword Soul. The deck actually has Protos in the OCG, whereas we don't in the TCG, so it's really powerful, and it's obviously consistent and safe to play. I don't have much else to say about Sword Soul, because at this point, it's just a better Salamangreat. Number 9 is Pendulums, which actually got a huge boost from the ban list. They just got Performapal Monkey Board, which isn't that relevant on its own, but the fact that they have Electrum is actually really huge. And in a world where people play maybe Ash and Bell and Bestials, it means that Pendulum is going to have a free pass because these hand traps do nothing against Pend. So yeah, we're getting closer and closer to a format where you could unironically say Pend best deck. Number 8 is Trailmans, which is actually really interesting. They have Revolution Synchron and Chaos Ruler, so they can actually do some really cool synchro plays, and we can't really do that over here in the TCG, so the deck is actually really interesting over there. But with Kashtira finally out of the picture, you also no longer really have to care about Shifter, which is really good for you. And even Magnamut is limited in the OCG, so there's even less ways of stopping you if you're playing Tier Elements. But yeah, because of the RNG aspect and consistency issues, I kind of struggle to put Tier Elements higher on the list. Next up is Mech, and I'm gonna have to say, this deck is really disgusting. Again, less Bestials, less Shifter, all the better for Mech. And yo, deadass, one circular changes absolutely nothing, the deck is still extremely powerful. It's not even like you can say that Mech lost a lot of consistency because they still have 3 Silent Mining, 3 Small World, etc. You could also play a Cyber Spile deck such as Mech Adignister, which actually got second at the Remote Duel YCS. Overall, fantastic deck, I approve. Number 6 is Labyrinth Witch, yet again dodged the ban list. The deck is a trap deck, meaning it doesn't really lose to Maxi at all, and it's actually really flexible. You can play the Furnitures to be able to play on your opponent's turn and also get your trap cards really early on, or you can play trap heavy and, in a way, kind of lose a little bit more to Duster, but at the same time floodgate your opponent to death. And Skill Drain at 1 doesn't change much because you can still play Rivalry and Ghost and Match. Number 5 is a deck that technically got a few hits on the ban list, but it's still really good, and that would be Super Heavy Samurai at Emancipator. You can no longer Smoke Grenade your opponent, which is not really the end of the world to be honest. And Block Dragon went from 3 to 2, which is by far the worst hit I've ever seen in my life. And again, 1 Soul Piercer and 2 Samurai Bike really isn't the end of the world when you still have 3 Wagon as well as 3 Wakoshi. The one issue that this deck still really suffers from is Maxi, but it is what it is. Now speaking of Maxi, number 4 is Vanquish Soul, a deck that not only does not lose to Maxi, but also can abuse Maxi. It's an Earth attribute, so you can use it as a reveal for your Vanquish Soul effects, and that's really nice. Fantastic deck, of course, and the new support is really good as well, and by the way, I just posted a combo video on the deck today, so go check it out. Alright, number 3 is a deck that completely dodged the ban list to a certain extent, and it's Purely. The only hate was Sleepy Memory to 1, but it's not as big as like Delicious Memory to 1. Like, okay, big deal, you can only draw 2 cards on your opponent's standby instead of 6, but like, bruh, you can still go into Expurely Noir, so who cares? And yeah, if you don't have any outs to Expurely Noir, you're gonna cry a lot. And even outside of Expurely Noir, the deck is still really good because you can have like a 20 billion material Zeus, or OTK your opponent with a Purely Happy. Definitely a really dangerous deck in the right hands. Now, the number 2 best deck in the OCG has to be Despia. It only has 1 branded fusion, but outside of that, it's pretty much unhindered. And honestly, outside of Ash, the deck really doesn't lose to any hand trap whatsoever. If their branded fusion gets Ash, they can actually use Triple Tactic Thrust to search out the fusion duplication and then use it on their opponent's turn to mimic the effect of branded fusion. So that way they can set up a Mirror Jade on the opponent's turn and get a few searches as well as a lot of recursion. And again, good players can dodge pretty much every hand trap with this deck. They have a lot of quick effects to fuse, so if you imperm something, they can go like chain something else and then you're screwed. And again, there's only 1 Magnamut in the OCG, so stopping them is really difficult. I'm a big believer of the Despia strategy myself, honestly. But the best deck in the OCG moving forward absolutely has to be Rescue Ace. This deck does not lose to a single hand trap, I'm not exaggerating. Ash does not even do anything against the deck because the boss monster of the deck, quote unquote, is Triple Lance and it doesn't even search anything. The card straight up sets up to 4 Rescue Ace spells in traps from your deck directly to your field, which is insane. And also, you can easily dodge a Veiler or Imperm either using Emergency or by using Proxy F Magician to fusion summon for Muddragon of the Swamp and call Fire. I want to say this is the superior version of Vanquish Soul in terms of card advantage because you're actually getting 4 cards every single turn and you're snowballing at the speed of light. It also has an infinite grind game because the field spell is kind of like a Daigusto Emerald, so you never run out of gas. And it also has a built-in out to Expurely Noir thanks to Rescue Ace Impulse. The card bypasses the protection from Expurely Noir because it actually prevents the player from activating the effects of a monster monster. Thank God that deck does not exist in the TCG yet. Well, it does, but it sucks ass at the moment because we're still missing 2 of the most important cards. But yeah, now you know what to look forward to in a few months in the TCG. Anyways, that's all I had for this video. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also let me know your thoughts about the OCG format in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.